Aloha, this is Rose Jang, your true Hawaii real estate agent. In today's episode, I'll be discussing Hawaii property taxes. I will be covering 3 main topics. Number 1, types of property taxes in Hawaii. Number 2, payment dates and methods of payment. And number 3, property taxes related to newly constructed condos. In a previous video, 10 real reasons why Hawaii is the true paradise, I mentioned that Hawaii has the lowest property tax rates compared to the rest of the United States. If you haven't watched that video yet, please take a look. The link is below. In today's video, I will focus on property taxes on the island of Oahu. First, let's understand the assessed value, which is the basis for calculated property taxes. This assessed value is similar to the publicly announced land value in Korea, for example. Unlike other states where property taxes are calculated based on the sales price, Hawaii multiplies the assessed value by a factor. Now, let's move on to the types of the property taxes. The first type is residential. It refers to properties where you personally reside. To prove residency, you need to be a Hawaii resident with the Hawaii State ID and have filed income tax returns as a resident. Or prove that you have lived in Hawaii for at least 270 days in the tax year. If you reside in the property, you multiply the assessed value by 0.35% to calculate the property tax. When you live in the property, you are eligible for a deduction called home exemption, which is like a deduction for home ownership. The deduction is based on the age, with the deduction of $100,000 for those under 65 years and $140,000 for those who are 65 years old or older. Let me provide you with an example. Let's say there's a kaka'ako condo with the assessed value of $1.8 million. If the owner is 40 years old, subtract $100,000 from the assessed value. 1.8 million minus 100,000 is $1.7 million. Then you multiply this adjusted value by 0.0035 to calculate the property tax. So it comes out to be $5,950 for the respective year. If the owner is 65 or older, the deduction is $140,000 instead of $100K. Therefore, the calculation would be $1.660 million multiplied by 0.0035. The deduction amount used to be lower, with $80,000 for those younger than 65 years old and $120,000 for those 65 years and older. However, the government increased the deduction amounts to encourage home purchases and home ownership. So it's important to buy a property for residency and immediately apply for the home exemption. The deadline for applying the home exemption is September 30th every year, but I also assist my clients in applying it right away. The second property type is residential A. Unlike the previous residential type, residential A apply to properties where the owner doesn't claim the deduction, meaning they do not reside there. Residential A has 2 tax rates based on the assessed value. If the assessed value is below $1 million, the tax rate is 0.45%. If it is $1 million or more, the tax rate is 1.05%. For example, let's say there's a second home in Ala Moana with an assessed value of $1.8 million. It will be split into 2 portions. In the first, $1 million with a tax rate of 0.45% and the remaining $800,000 with a tax rate of 1.05%. The calculation would be below. So the first $1 million you multiply by 0.0045. Plus the remaining 800,000, you multiply that by 0.0105, which comes out to be $12,900 in property taxes for that respective year. The third property tax type is hotel and resort, which applies to properties available for short-term rentals. The tax rate for this category is 1.39%. For example, let's calculate the property tax for a resort condo in Waikiki with an assessed value of $1.6 million. You just have to simply multiply it by 0.0139. So 1.6 million times 0.0139 equates to $22,240. Now, let's briefly discuss the payment dates and methods. The tax period is from July 1st of the base year to June 30th of the following year. There are two payment periods. The first payment is due by August 20th, covering July 1st to December 31st. And the second payment is due by February 20th, covering January 1st to June 30th. Payments can be made online, by phone, by check sent to the Real Property Tax Collection Department, or in person with cashier's check. Lastly, regarding newly constructed condos, there is no specific guideline for determining the assessed value. In some cases, the assessed value may not accurately reflect the market price, while in other cases, it may be similar. It is advisable to consult with an appraiser to determine the exact evaluation criteria. I hope that this video provided you with more detailed information about Hawaii property taxes, particularly focusing on Oahu Island. If you have any further questions or need advice on tax matters, I really do recommend that you consult with an accountant or tax specialist. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to subscribe and like this video for me. This really helps me and encourages me to work harder as a Hawaii real estate agent here. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. If you have any question, make sure to contact me. My contact info is below. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you and aloha!